Welcome to IRL Tier 2. We are here at the Red Bull Ring for round 9 of the championship. I'm joined by Toasty here.
Hello, hello.
And we're about to get things underway for sprint qualifying. So this is a sprint weekend. So there's going to be a 12-minute sprint qualifying session, then a 12-lap sprint race. Then we will head into an 18-minute qualifying session, and then a 36-lap race. So we have 11 drivers here today, kind of a smaller turnout than we usually have, but I guess the 1 week break maybe put people off. They don't really know what they're doing, but lots of teams have 2 drivers. We have 2 Alpines, 2 Mercedes, 2 Red Bulls, and 2 Kick Saubers. So do you have any high hopes for this race, Toasty, or we just...
I do not. I do suspect that it's probably just going to be a runaway show, and everything's going to be very spread out.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to see Quoto, the man that we know has been so quick. Okay, what's the button? Oh, there it is. We're going to see Quoto possibly run away with this one again like he has in the past. Or we're going to have some new challenges. We have Blitz here. Blitz, of course, I believe has finished on the podium a few times. I'm going to check that out in race results. We've had Blitz on the podium a few times. Of course, myself actually on the podium last week. Last race. Quoto, of course, winning again from pole position. So we'll have to see what's going to happen here. I'm getting pinged. It says Toasty needs to be turned up.
Why do I need to be turned up?
I'm not sure. Oh, I was going to turn it on Discord. Oops. Alright, there we go. Now we're good. Alright, so we have Quoto getting ready to start his lap. Actually, ahead of him, I believe, there is... he's on a lap, but we have Quoto beginning his lap here. He's going to make his way through the 10th and final corner. Austria, of course, has the smallest number of corners in F1. They have, or not smallest, the least amount of corners. Pimenta gets in. Okay, so we will actually have 12 drivers here today, which will be nice.
Nice.
And here we go. We see Quoto now climbing the hill up and towards turn 3, where famous incident occurred. Lando Norris, Max Verstappen coming together last year. It's going to be 2 McLarens, so there's a possibility we can see that recreated. Hopefully not with Quoto or Davis, but we'll have to see.
I think it maybe add some excitement for us, though.
Yeah, maybe we can have some something interesting for once happens. How's that? Not much interesting stuff happens in Tier 2 typically, so we'll have to see lots of... You can really see how low that car is as he bounces his way through Sector 2, making his way down to Turn 9, Turn 10. This fast left or right, or double right-hander down. Really got to push everything to try not and get track limits. KMYT gets to 109 or 104.9. Quoto with a 104.7 on the mediums, doing similar to what the Aston Martins did today in qualifying. Qualifying the medium tire and knocking out the Ferraris. But we have no Ferraris in Tier 2. So
Dan in a 105.0, and then his teammate Ryan right behind him with a 105.7. Felix in the McLaren gives a 106.1.
I wonder. He must have made a small mistake on his lap. Actually, he's only 4/10, but but at least we know that the gap up at the front is pretty close. Dan only 3/10 behind Quoto. I think Dan actually drove in the other, because we have already driven Austria in Tier 2 already, but we did U60 goes fastest with a 104.7. But we did this track already earlier in Tier 2, but we merged the Tier 2 and Tier 1 calendar together. So, Dan having a little snap there through Sector 2. He's really fighting the car everywhere. Don't know what's happening with him, but it seems that the medium tires just aren't gripping as much as he'd like them to. So he's probably going to make his way back or down to the pits now. Yep. We now have... Who is on a lap? Pimenta's on an out lap. We have Blitz on a flyer here, and also Golden Sniper on a flyer, invalidated actually. So we have Blitz on a flyer here. He's going to make his way down to turn 4. He might catch the the Mercedes in front of him. He has Pimenta behind. But he's on that medium tire. I think Golden is starting his lap now. We'll see what he can do as he comes across the line. It's an invalidated time, so he drove a 108. He's going to make his way into turn 1, though. a little bit shaky from him. Of course, the medium tire, not the greatest thing to qualify on. Let's now.
Definitely an interesting choice for them. A lot of people on the mediums. Wonder if they're just trying to get some warm-up laps in, see how the track feels before getting past.
Let's now coming across the line with a 106. Not his best time for the man who is, I think, P2 in the standings.
Pimenta starting his lap.
For the man who's P2 in the standings, it's not something you're going to want to see. Shout out Kazu. Love you, buddy.
Kuto goes fastest with a 104.
Oh, there's a yellow flag in Sector 2. As it seems...
I wonder if Pimenta's going to run
it seems like it's Morgan Hughes. He needed to recharge or to pull away so he doesn't impede people in their qualifying lap. He's going to hop in front of KNYT Kid, who I think is on a flyer on those softs. I wonder if they're maybe lining up for a tow at the end here. I'm not really sure. I think KNYT Kid might be... Morgan Hughes might be low on fuel, maybe? But KNYT Kid is on 3-lap-old softs. Is the session ending soon? There's 5 minutes left. But KNYT Kid seems to not be... He's actually going to run out of fuel. So... as they're both going to dive now into the pits.
Keeping it on. Pimenta across the line with a 105.2, putting him into 8.
Davis now leaving the pits, finally. His Red Bull trundles out of the pit lane, making its way up the hill into turn 3 on his outlap. We'll see what he is going to be able to do. Of course, a new wheel driver. I think he might still be on controller, but he does have a wheel now. But he has yet to use it. So we'll see what he can do.
I remember my days on the controller. Definitely not fun times.
A lot of controller drivers actually in this league, believe it or not. Golden Sniper. Oh, yellow flag as Pimenta runs out of fuel. Maybe trying to get... I'm not really sure what he's doing. He's on a fresh set of softs, so maybe he's going to be setting up for a lap. Yellow flag ahead of them with Blitz, who is just on low fuel mode, I think. But Davis now. Let's see. Let's ride on board with the American Davis. They're the Rebel drivers. He's going to make his way down 9-10 into turn 10 now. So he's going to begin his lap. God, this track is beautiful. It's got to be one of the most scenic tracks in the game.
Now, I do wonder if we're going to see some more action in the sprint race rather than...
KNYT Kid going to retire in the pit lane, I think. So good job from him to not retire on track. Pimenta going to be getting a godly tow, though, up the hill now. So, he is very close behind. Pimenta going to break super deep now. Davis has a purple sector 1, though. So we'll see what he's going to be able to do on that medium tire. He does go ghost mode for some reason. I wonder if that was a disconnection. Or maybe he had to go AI mode for just a moment. But making his way now down to turn 4. Heading his way now into sector 2. Let's see what he can do here now. To this beautiful double left complex. He's going to go a little bit wide. He doesn't going to invalidate his time. So he goes a little bit deep now. The driver who set a purple sector 1 loses it all. There's now a Daniel behind him too now, though, it seems.
Kuto is on outlap with the soft, so it'll be interesting to see if he can set a faster time and maybe keep that pole position.
Seems like Dan's also beginning his lap now. So he comes around the final corner to cut the beam. Here he goes. He's going to make his way now into turn 1. Sliding his car through. I know how quick Dan is around this circuit, so let's see what he can do. Make his way now up into turn 3. There is a little bit of traffic ahead of him. Hopefully they are going to move out of the way.
Darren gets out of the way.
The other one is setting up for a tow now. Dan going to get a lovely tow down this back straight. I don't think Ryan has done a lap. He's actually on his out lap. Surprised he didn't set up for the tow there, but Dan's going to brake super late now into turn 4. Dan getting the traction, rotation of the car. Now he's going to head his way down into turn, I think this is turn 6 or turn 5. One of the two. Anyway, now down into this another left-hander.
6 tenths down as he sets
what he can do. He is going to be quick now. Make his way down to 9 and 10. What can Dan do? Throwing the car in the final 2 corners, just praying that it sticks. And he's going to come across the line with a... Wow, a 104.4. Only 8 hundredths off of Quoto's time, but We're going to cut down to the Alpine driver on his outlap.
Sector 1.
And we have a U60 who is currently in P3. We have Blitz on an outlap as well. I don't know if U60 is actually on a flyer, though. Doesn't seem like it. Who else is on a lap? Morgan Hughes seems to be on a lap.
Quoto. 104 or 104.1.
Yeah, Quoto going fastest, but now Morgan Hughes, 2 seconds down. Pimenta 2/10 up, or 2/10 down, or up as well. Ryan, I think, on a lap. Let's see what he can do here. He's going to make his way down to the middle sector. Let's see what we have for a sector 2. He is 3/10 up on his time. Purple sector 2, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He's only 3/10 up on his time. So we'll see what he can do through 9 and 10 now. It's all about risk here. You're going to lose the car a little bit, but he's going to make his way out of the final corner, run a little bit wide, up to the line. It's going to be a 105.3, 4/10 improvement on his time. Doesn't improves his time, not position. But now we have Golden Sniper, who's actually 500ths up on his time. He had a big mistake in the middle sector, so he might be able to do something here. I know he had a good sector 1. Don't know what Davis is doing. Davis better start his lap, but let's watch Golden Sniper as he's going to make his way now to the final few corners of this lap. Purple sector 2, he's a second up on his time. What will he do through these final 2 corners now? 9 and 10. Will he risk everything, or will he play it safe to make it through? He has nothing to lose here now. Beautiful through 9. Beautiful through 10. Going to make his way up to the line now with a 104.9, push him to 6th position. We now have Davis. We're going to go on board with him.
Oh, a little bit of contact between Blitz and that McLaren there as they
really?
That last. As Blitz goes P2 with a 104.2.
Oh my gosh. We now have Davis, though. Davis seems to be going pretty quickly. His first lap was on a medium tire, so he's really going to get the field of grip now. This is his first actual lap time, so we have nothing to compare him against. But he's going to make his way now through 9 and 10. Yellow flags in Sector 2. I'm not sure why. But now Davis coming through turn 10. Oh, just a little bit of an oversnap, and he's going to make his way up to the line with a 106.3. I think in 12th. But there's still more people on track. Felix still out on track. Golden still out on track, but I think that's because U60 now in the pit lane. Morgan Hughes. These people are all just doing in laps now. So yeah, what a quali session.
So it looks like your grid for the sprint race will be P1 will be Kuto sending a very, very fast lap, and then Blitz in your P2 spot, just about 10th off of Kuto, and then another 10th off from that will be Morgan Hughes in your P3. Dan, P4, once again, another 10th off. Definitely a lot of gap between this top 5. Top 5, our 5th will be your Alpine driver of U601 with just setting laps on mediums. P6 will be Kint's Kid. P7, Golden Sniper. 8 will be The Judge. 9th will be Pimenta. 10, Ryan. 11, Felix. And P12 will be that Red Bull of Davis.
Rounding it off, yeah. Looks like it's going to be a pretty... It should be actually pretty good. It seems like Blitz and Quoto are pretty close. I need to take a screenshot of these. Just real quick, give me a moment. Sorry, everyone. I'm going to listen to here. So I have it saved in a spot. There we go. So, yeah. U60 actually going P5 on a medium tire. Now, a lot of people don't know this. I actually told my drivers to do a little bit of a different strategy that's going to be a little weird for the sprint race. I really hope they'll follow through with it. I really hope they set the tire allocation correctly, but I'm going to do something a little different. So, we'll see come race time if they actually listen to me. But we'll see what happens now.
Definitely one thing that I find interesting is that your championship leader on your number 2 spot are sitting pole in the number 2. So probably we'll continue to see that same trend follow.
Okay, we're going to wait. If anyone's watching the stream, please wait for the ping. Oh, someone readied up, I think.
Well, Big rip.
Someone did ready up, I think. I'm not sure though.
Apparently I need to be turned up. I don't know if you already did that.
I already did. Yeah, I turned you up a little bit.
Alrighty, thank you.
Your mic's peaking about the same as mine now, so hopefully no one read it up. I really hope no one did. I'm gonna wait a second before it starts. I know it's a sprint race, so it'll take a second.
This is Ryan's first time racing for this tier 2. Same with the Mercedes driver.
Yeah, I guess it is Ryan's debut, so let's look at where he's actually starting. Ryan's starting P10, not too bad for his first race. Of course, sprint points go down to P10 in this league, so he is actually starting inside the points. Of course, only 1 point for that place, but, you know, still, a point is a point. I don't think Sauber have many of those in Tier 2.
Our other debut is our P3.
Yeah, Sauber
holder,
actually only has 20 of
Hughes.
those, so Sauber are going to be happy, especially Mr. Mizaki, the team principal, going to be happy to know that there's some points possibly on the table today. Dan, of course, really high up here in P4. Really good qualifying from him. He's had a very unlucky few races. I don't think he's finished a race in the past few. So I wonder if he can break that curse maybe and finally be up there with Morgan, SJ, and Quoto, fight for even a sprint win or even a race win. I think that could be on the cards here today for Daniel. I know he's quick around the circuit, so.
Some more things to look at. Both Alpine drivers, they are starting. This is the first race that they will both be racing together.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic works. They're talking a little bit about a different strategy, so we'll see if that comes into play and helps.
Yeah, so I think we might be okay to ready up now. I'll set up a ready up message, tell them to get going. Good to go now. But yeah. Toasty, you can't ready up. We're commentators. I wish you could set it that like the hosts could ready up and you know.
That'd be nice.
I'm really hoping that things will work out okay here. And I'm really hoping that my drivers put the correct tires on. They did. Okay, we're good. So here we go. We're at the grid now. So, and now it is
5 red lights and
lights
off
out
they go
and
with
away
the
we
start.
go. We have Quoto leading us off, of course. He's gonna lead from pole position. Ooh, Pimenta and the McLaren. Oh, U60.
One of the Alpine drivers
U60 has a little bit of a
shifts in the grid.
He's gonna have to back out there. Golden dropping to P10. Ryan making up 2 positions in the start. Golden up to P9. He's gonna try and get past Pimenta here. The McLaren's having a horrible start, dropping all the way down. Ooh, the McLaren's gonna make a little bit of the Williams gonna make a little bit of contact. Kua now, Dan.
Dropping 1 place and Golden Sniper dropping 3.
Let me get my
Top
detail.
4 stays unchanged.
Of course, we have Golden Sniper starting on the hard tires. That's something that we don't really expect to see, but that was the bold strategy call that we said that the Alpine drivers were going to go for here. So, of course, the hard tire will have the longer tire life, but it's going to take a while for it to get going. So, of course, Golden in the points now. We have Quoto now, still in the lead here, but Blitz very close behind, still right up Quoto's tail. So they're going to finish lap 1. Probably a track limit there for Blitz there, as he's going to go a little bit wide from track limits. But now Blitz going to have the DRS on Quoto up into turn 3. What will he do with this? U60 already getting a 3-second time penalty after the first lap. After running a little bit wide, very, very early. But Quoto now is going to make his way past.
Oh, wide, and he makes the move, getting the overtake.
A little bit of contact.
That hairpin.
A little bit of contact though. Yellow flag behind, as it seems KNYT Kid is stopped on circuit. But we're going to continue this fight as Quoto's going to go on past. There seems to be some wing damage in the back as Dan and Kua are going to go side by side. They're going to make their way now into the double left-hander. Here, this is not a corner you would love to go side by side by, but they are still fighting intently here. as they're going to make their way through
It's definitely a
cleanly.
question of who
Oh
has
my
more grip. I
goodness,
think Dan gets the
Dan!
pull away.
Dan does get the position here, coming through those corners. What a move from Dan, and what a battle they are having here in Austria. Dan actually going to get the DRS now as well, so he's not going to be at risk of losing to Morgan Hughes behind. Ryan now also losing a bunch of time. U60 losing the position to Pimenta, but Pimenta's still up his inside kind of. He's going to back out of that move. We have U60 now in the back of the Judge now. So they're going to make their way up into turn 3.
Blitz gets the overtake done on that straight with the DRS. Keeps
Again,
it going into the hairpin.
but now Dan is here, and Dan is hungry. Dan wants a good finish for once in his career, I guess, because he hasn't really done much so far.
Side by side.
He's going to break really late. He's going to be right up the back of Blitz now.
Some locking up.
Seems like there's a nice little 4-car battle here now. So we have Dan still very close to the back of Blitz. Going to get a little bit of dirty air there, just losing the traction from the 2 cars ahead of him. Of course, Morgan Hughes still very close behind him. But will Blitz be brave enough to go for a move through 9 and 10? No, he's not. Pimenta going to get the 3-second time penalty. Golden still waiting for those hard tires to fire up, but Kuoto having a little bit of a wide moment. But Blitz now going to have a really good run on him into turn 1. Will he go for the move? No, he's not going to go for it, as Morgan Hughes is going to set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, and Blitz actually getting the fastest third sector. Dan's still very close behind, though. Morgan Hughes has a great run on Dan, though. They're going to go 2 by 2 now, up into turn 3.
Dan getting back into 4th as he loses the position.
It's going to be Morgan Hughes.
Oh, Morgan Hughes up into second!
Up the inside.
Kuto definitely not going to be happy about that. Is he going
even
to
having a look
push
now?
It hard?
But Morgan Hughes going to go for a move down to turn 4. He's going to go from P4 to the race lead in 2 corners. Two DRS zones. It's all it took for him to take the lead, but Blitz still there. They're still fighting very close. A yellow flag behind.
Down the grid.
Judge seems to be losing a lot of positions. But now these top 4 are sticking nose to tail through these corners still. U60 losing a lot of positions now. It's down to P9 where he started in P4, I believe. But Morgan Hughes going to lead us off. He's pulling a pretty good gap to the cars behind him. But Blitz isn't going to be able to gain enough now.
Hungry. You can see Dan pushing himself through every corner, going a little wide on some.
Yeah,
he really wants this position,
really wants
wanting
something
to follow into Morgan Hughes' footsteps. As Ryan, the other Sauber, gets into 5th.
They're going to go side by side now. They are going to go side by side now.
Up a little bit as Kuto makes his way back into 2nd.
Morgan Hughes going to have to leave the track. These two still fighting very close.
Getting the position back
now
on
up
Morgan
into the
Hughes.
lead. And now they're going to
Sniper fight a little bit in the
but
back
now
there.
a little bit of contact. Blitz and Hughes still making contact as they fight down into turn. Oh my god!
Having to give up the position. What
Kuotos
a fight for this
retakes the lead. We're not even halfway through the sprint race, and it is some crazy fighting here. This is insane. And yeah, this is something for sure. As now we make our way to the exact halfway point of the race. Dan actually going to have a run on, it seems a run on Blitz here, but he's going to end up recharging instead. They're going to make their way into turn 1. The judge getting a 3-second time penalty. But here comes Daniel now up into turn 3. What will he be able to do? I don't think anything at the moment unless he has a big send. But he is sticking with these top few. Actually, he's sticking with the championship leaders around Austria. So maybe we're finally seeing maybe we're finally seeing Dan's true pace in Tier 2, and if he can actually do something. It's a big change of positions in the back as Golden's going to drop down to P10 from, I believe, P6. A yellow flag in Sector 2 as the judge is turned around backwards on the grid. I wonder what happened there. Kuoto still leading us off, though, as Morgan up very close behind. Dan starting to lose a little bit of pace now. I think the tire wear is slightly getting to Dan, but let's see what he can do. Maybe he's recharging. Maybe he's waiting to attack to the final stages of the race. He's throwing the car through the final corners. He still has DRS.
Downsides of pushing is the tire wear.
Especially around a track like Austria. Especially around a track like Austria. But Dan now, he's going to run a little bit wide. Have to take the runoff there. I don't think you get a corner cut for that, but actually Ryan going to get past Pimento. We need to go back down the field and see anyone else who's fighting. Golden, Felix, U60, KNYT kids, all still very close. Golden. Those hard tires still haven't fired up for him yet, but they should be coming into a window now, or he might be fast in the drivers ahead. As long as he gets these next few positions, he should be okay. Of course, KNYT kid leading this pack. We know he's a very fast driver. The judge actually got a DNF. He retires in the pits. That's good. Thumbs up from me. But let's jump back to this front battle. Dan, Blitz, Morgan Hughes, and Quoto. If you want to check on that battle behind, you should let me know what's going on there. Dan, drifting his way, it seems, through Sector 2. It seems that those tires are really dead. But Golden, now actually really close to Felix, it seems, on the timing tower. We'll see what he can do now. As they're actually going to lose KMYT
Felix
kid.
in a little bit of an Alpine sandwich as he tries to make his way through, but I think the Alpines are giving him a little bit of a struggle.
Golden now getting a good run though, as he's going to maybe have a try and go for a move up into turn 1.
I think
he's going to go for a move on his teammate. Oh, and Golden
is spun!
Golden has spun. Oh my goodness! Contact. A little bit of an ambitious move there from him.
But I think
as it seems
Ryan also falls down the grid.
Ryan also going slowly. I have to turn you down a little bit, Toasty. I apologize. Your mic peaked. Your mic peaked so hard there.
That is my apologies.
It's all good.
Wow.
But now Morgan Hughes and Quoto still side by side. Oh my gosh! And now Blitz also there. Endless action in this race. This is insanity here. So, it seems that the two Alpines have come together, Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon style. It seems that Blitz is just pushing Kua down the hill. This isn't even the main race. We still have a 36-lap race after this. Oh my gosh. But now we have Blitz gonna try and go for a move here, maybe on, oh no he's not, on Kua, but he doesn't go for it. Dan, still with this pack, but what can he do? We don't know what Daniel can do. Everyone's kind of separated now. It's only this front pack. Dan slowly losing the leaders, though, but Dan able to break a lot later than them because they're all bunched up in front, of course. So, let's see. Blitz going to go for try and go for the inside or outside line around Morgan Hughes. They're actually going to go too wide.
It worked.
Blitz going to get the move done as Dan now has the overspeed on the cars ahead, but what can he do? Nothing at the moment. Driving that vacuum cleaner of a Kick Sauber. If I
was Dan in this situation,
he's really just throwing that car through. You just gotta wait.
If there's any contact, because that's when Dan's gonna be able to pick up that rubber and definitely strike hard.
But now looking at Quota's rear wing, let's see this move happen. Let's see what's gonna happen here. Blitz actually doesn't have the speed, it seems, to get Quoto. So Quoto able to hold his lead in P1. But now Blitz going to have a look at a run up the hill into turn 3. So they're going to make their way into the braking zone. Blitz lines up for a dive bomb, but Kua going to go around the inside and actually going to get the position on Blitz.
I think loses DRS.
I don't yet.
All up as Blitz and Morgan Hughes are fighting, going too wide.
And Morgan Hughes actually has a little bit of lag. That was lag. As I thought Morgan Hughes went for a dive bomb there, but he is ghosted. So this is going to get a little tight coming through these corners. They're actually going to go side by side. Oh my goodness. Dan still sticking with this pack though. So maybe Dan can do something about this.
Just going to be able to get away with this P4 just from hanging out in the back because of all the fighting. And
yeah, but Dan
getting a little bit of a spin.
Has a little bit of a snap. That could have been bad for him.
That tire wear. I think Golden Sniper may be going up for a run on Ryan.
Let's see. He is gonna try and go for a move. They're gonna go through turns 9 and 10 now. Golden with the DRS. This is for the last point position here in the sprint. Ryan gonna go really wide. Don't know if that's enough. Golden gonna get another 3-second time penalty, but Golden gonna have the run.
Golden getting a run and making that opportunity his as he gets the overtake in the back here for 8 points.
But he does have a 6-second penalty, meaning he will lose out to Ryan unless Ryan gets a penalty as well.
As
Yeah.
and the Alpine and the middle pack here kind of swapping positions a little bit.
Yeah, so we'll see what... And Davis actually sticking close enough to use 60 to have that penalty. He's going to lose a position down as well. So unless Ryan gets another 3-second penalty, Golden going to lose at the points. And U60 also going to drop down to P9. Not a great day for the Alpine team.
Dan falling out of DRS. He will...
Dan's actually going to lose DRS now, yeah. So he's going to sit in a P4 now. He just gets to hang out. It's actually the last lap of the race.
Between these front runners, I don't think.
But these guys in the front are going to be hungry. They're going to fight for everything here. So we're going to actually go on board with Kuto, as Blitz going to go around the outside. And also Morgan Hughes going to go for a move as well. Kuto's going to get a little boxed. There's a little bit of contact.
So much contact.
And Kuto losing. Oh, and actually U60 getting another 3-second time penalty, as now Davis is actually going to get the position for sure on U60. Kuto. Oh! There's massive contact. Dan. Kuto going to bomb him. Dan actually has the opportunity now to maybe overtake the pair of them.
He goes side by side with Kuto.
And Dan now, Dan needs to stick his nose there. What will he be able to do? There is contact.
Too wide with Kuto down this, maybe a little bit in the gravel as Dan spins.
Dan!
A snap there.
Dan's
continuing to just push and push, wanting to make this position happen.
I don't think it is going to happen, though, as Blitz going to come through now and win this Austrian Grand Prix. Morgan Hughes in second position. Maybe it's going to be a drag race. And Dan, P4. Pimenta going to come through in P6 because of the penalties.
Making an overtake on the final corner, right?
Well, no, it's because of the time. Oh, U60 going to crash over the line, it seems. Davis comes home, P8. Ryan going to come home in P10 as Golden Sniper
hits the wall before he crosses that line. I don't know.
He's going to be going backwards, it seems.
Substance Golden Sniper
he's going to reverse. He's going to reverse over the line. This is fine. A little bit of display of, I don't know.
What a race! I mean,
what a race
that
was.
That top four were fighting the entire way. And,
oh my gosh! Yeah, that was certainly a race for the ages. Cause I gotta make sure to take a screenshot of these standings really quickly. I got it. Okay.
Yeah, Ryan being able to make those points for that Sauber definitely be good for them. Alpine with some points.
No. Okay, we're good.
Blitz, your P1 from that second place.
Yeah, Blitz the winner
Morgan
in
Hughes
the sprint race.
Also, from that P3 up into P2, your pole sitter Kuto down to P3. Dan staying in P4. Kint Kid and Pimenta both moving up into 5th and 6th respectively. Same with Felix and Davis in your P7, P8 respectively. The Alpine of you on that P9. Ryan just barely making points in that P10. Golden Sniper crushing into the wall and driving over the line backwards. It's your P11. And the Judge retiring early with your P12. I will be right back so I can go get some more water.
Yeah, that was a lot of talking.
That was
so
a lot more than I thought that there was going to be. So. Good luck.
All right. Well, now I'm alone. So, hello everyone, back again. Let's see as we come into our qualifying session. 18 minutes of qualifying. Gonna have the Alpine of Golden Sniper going out really early on the medium tire. Sorry, it's on my phone for a second. Here we have Golden Sniper now. He's going to begin his lap on the medium tire. I need to do something really quick though. Give me a second now.
I think that's Kuto about to set his or start his flying lap. Previous pole sitter, definitely be interesting to see if he will continue to sit in this pole position. Makes it through that hairpin rather nicely.
I'm not
I don't
sure
know
if
if I
there's
have the
weather
other-
because as commentators, of course, we don't have our weatherman here. We don't have Mark, the weatherman here, so we don't know. But let's see. So we have Golden Sniper on the
Kuto is on his
medium
lap.
tire, KNYT Kid on the medium tire. We have he's actually starting a lap now. I did not realize that Golden was on a lap. He's gonna make his way through sector 2 now, just behind KNYT Kid. What can Golden Sniper do? So he's gonna come down 9 and 10 with
Kuto with a
1:04
1:04.3.
rapid time. Golden now comes to the final few corner, gonna slide a little bit wide. I'm gonna invalidate the final corner. But a 106.1 is something to be proud of, something to be happy about.
Kid with a 1:05.3.
Sorry, I'm
Pole
checking my
position
phone.
for that sprint race was a 1:04.3 or 1:04.1. My apologies. So I
Yes.
think we'll still have a little bit of pace to find as the track gets rubbered in and as people get more confident with the tires.
Yeah, so Golden, of course, invalidating his first lap. I wonder if he's going to try and set another one. I think he may, or maybe do a recharge lap. Quota now also on an in lap. Morgan Hughes actually only a tenth behind Quoto or Kuto. Sorry, not Quoto. I just remembered I've been butchering his name almost every time I say it. We have U60 P3 with a or that's 3/10 behind, and U60 looking at a Merc sandwich for the race. So, he's gonna dive into the pits now. Oh my goodness, big yawn.
Felix coming across that corner very close to invalidating, but somehow he doesn't. Comes across the line with a 1:05.3, getting slower than Tent Kiddos on the mediums right now. His teammate Pimenta, I think, just started his flying lap as the Sauber gets out of the way. That being Dan.
And okay, sorry, I'm losing some energy here. Oh, Felix gonna dive off the road to make sure. The judge now, and Dan on an out lap. Golden Sniper actually coming to finish his lap here now. Yellow flags, too. I think that's just Felix diving out of the way. But now we have Golden Sniper from the final few corners. What is he going to be able to do? Doesn't invalidate this time. But he's going to come across the line with a 1:05.5, putting him in P7. Only a tenth off the judge's time, which isn't horrible from him, especially on that medium tire. Yellow flag, as I think the judge and Felix are going to be a little close together there. I'm not really sure what happened. But I think everything is okay with them. I hope oh, the judge, I think, low on fuel. That's what it sounds like, at least.
Dan starting his lap as he works his way up into that corner one.
Here comes Dan. Of course, I think he started P4 in qualifying. He had a really good qualifying from him. So we'll see what he can
Definitely
do.
the man to follow here as he almost makes podium in that sprint race.
Just barely misses out, yeah.
Continuing to watch him as he goes to this
little third gear corner. Watch as he crosses that sector 2 with a purple sector 2. Of course, there's still a lot of time to gain and a lot of time to lose on this lap.
Yeah, let's see. I kind of have been paying attention. I've been messaging my drivers. But
Dan crosses the
Dan's
line.
going to come across with a 5th
104.7.
place. Good lap from him, of course. I think his PB is like a 103 something, so he has a lot more pace in the tank. I'm not sure how it is. I know it's in time trials like that, but
Yeah,
of course your tires are going to fall off over the lap, and you know, cold tires from the 2 straights.
Qualifying with a 104.47, so I think we'll still see a little bit of time out of Dan.
A little
Maybe
bit of
just
pace.
a little bit of a warm-up lap.
So, yeah, he's actually only about 300ths off of KNYT Kid's time. So, see what he can do on his next go. Of course, being this close to KNYT Kid, a race winner in Tier 2. I think he actually won Monaco on debut. So, someone to look out for is KNYT Kid. Of course, I think it seems that Mercedes have finally found a solid driver lineup. The first half of the season wasn't the greatest. Sorry, Sean. I don't know if you're watching this, but Sean, yeah, that was something. But seems we finally have a nice, solid driver lineup for them now. So.
Blitz setting purple sector 1.
Blitz. Where is Blitz? I cannot see him. He's
11th.
Yeah, he's going to come down now into turn 4. He's going to have a little bit of traffic ahead. He's going to have, I think, it seems that it's Quoto and an Alpine. Probably Golden Sniper ahead of him. Golden's going to dive out of the way. Or it's not Golden, it's a Williams. No, it's...
Might be getting a little bit of slip.
It's U60. It was U60.
Red Bull.
He's a little too far back, maybe. It could be a very, very distant toe. Not much to write home about. But he's going to come through now 9 and 10. Not braking, just a downshift to that first corner. Just a downshift to this last corner. He's gonna invalidate.
He runs very wide. Let's see what he would have gotten.
A 104.3. That actually
put him on
that would have put him P1.
Wow.
So an invalidation last corner saves everyone the struggle of having to beat that time. But now we're gonna ride on board with the lovely U60. He's gonna make his way down to turn 1. It's a very, very fast lap from him. First time around, 104.6 his first lap. Let's see what he can do this time. Yellow flag's up ahead of him. It's not going to help him. It's braking super late now. He's only 9 thousandths up or down or up on his time. So hopefully he can win back sometime now to the middle sector. There is going to be a Merc up ahead of him. Not going to impede though. Going to be good to get out of the way. And also make sure not to give him a tow. Now in the middle sector...
having 0 battery, really. He's using...
It seems that he burnt everything already. I don't think he meant to do that. He actually is 900ths up on his time. So let's see what U60 can do. Going to try and get a tow. Trying to get a tow, but wasn't able to get it. Sniffs for it. And now he's going to make his way through the final few corners. Really pushing everything. He's going to run wide.
And he goes very
Doesn't
wide.
invalidate. He doesn't invalidate, though.
Oh.
But doesn't improve.
Did not see it fast.
But does not improve. So, now we have KMYT Kid beginning his lap, though, in the Mercedes. Let's see what he can do now. I'm getting mentioned. Oh, he said don't look at this during the stream. Oh, sorry, Kazu. My bad. Okay, KMYT Kid now. Starting his lap. Making his way now up to turn 3. What is... did he go... What was the Sector 1 time? Did we see it? It wasn't purple, so he didn't go fastest. I didn't see the change, or the delta, but he's making his way now into turn 4. Of course, 7 minutes left to go in this qualifying session. We're just over halfway through it. And here he goes now. Oh, really pushing everything. Now, purple sector 2. He has 83 hundredths up on his, or 88 hundredths on his, up on his personal best. So let's see what he can do through the final corners now. beautiful line through turn 9.
Lighting a little bit.
Just
Very
barely
surprising
whin
no
track limits. What will he
qualification.
do? He's going to
And
improve by a
he-
10th and actually move just ahead of U60, who's currently in the pit lane. We have Felix, who ran out of fuel, it seems. So, heartbreak for him. But Kuto
Kuto
on an outlap.
Do you reckon that front pack will be fighting through this race again?
I really hope so. But this time I feel like Kane White's hopefully will be up there again. So we'll see what he can do. Kuto now starting his lap. Here he goes. I am gonna have to deafen, so I'm gonna get you to commentate through this lap. Oh, I lied. Wait, I have to.
First corner, getting a very good run, draining some battery as he is on the straight.
Down to 50%, definitely a choice as he runs into a little bit of traffic, but he gets that purple sector 1, blocking up just a little bit into this hairpin corner as he keeps going. Still traffic in front of him. I think that being the Kent kid and his maybe teammate Davis. As he goes, maybe wanting to get a little bit of slipstream from them. As he slides a little bit, that was off. Draining a lot of battery as he is behind this traffic. As he makes contact with the Alpine!
He
I
makes
don't know
contact
whose fault
with
that
Golden.
was.
I don't think
That
that was
was-
Golden Sniper. Golden Sniper was just doing a qualifying lap. He was on an outlap.
Wow.
I'm not sure
that's
what
definitely
happened
gonna be,
there.
Brought up in
That
some
needs to be
incident
looked at.
reports.
You can't. I understand if someone's slow, but you can't just drive through someone, especially through those corners, that section of the circuit. I'm not really sure what happened there, but it seems that he just kind of drove through him.
Yeah, I think Kuto back into the pits. Wow, that was definitely
But
something to
now
look
Golden gonna start his lap. So
at.
he
Kid's
starts.
Kid into the final corner, pushing hard, not getting disqualified as he keeps pushing.
But
Down to 10th, still in 3rd, just setting a better lap.
Now Golden making his way up the hill into turn 3. He's actually 3/100ths down or up on his time, so he isn't
He is
improving so
Still on
far.
those mediums, 7-lap old mediums. Is he just using qualifying as a free practice?
It seems that he's using the mediums. I think he wants to save a set of the softs for the race, I believe. Or I'm not really too sure.
Definitely just an odd decision for him.
But let's see what he can do. He's going to run a little bit wide now. But going into the final sector, ooh, really struggling for grip on the mediums. They're 7 laps old. Unless maybe they might be a new set of mediums. I don't know. He's actually going to pit. So, because I guess he isn't improving, maybe he'll slap on a set of softs and get one more lap in before the session ends.
Will not be setting a faster lap. Dan, the man to watch as he's on his out lap. Dan getting P4 in the sprint qualifying and then staying P4 throughout the sprint race. Could have gotten that podium if he had just a little bit more grit. So definitely be interesting to watch his time here and then how he does in the actual feature race.
Yeah, so now we have the judge heading out on his lap. So he's going to get going now through the final corner. Here he goes on 2-lap old
Let's
soft
still-
tires.
Hey, without a lap set, I don't know what his play is, but he might be starting from last and trying to work his way up. Ryan's still also without a time, and Davis.
Sorry, I gotta log back in. We have the judge here in P9 at the moment. Well, I didn't see if he improved. I wasn't looking at the screen at the time, but he's gonna make his way down to turn 4. He's gonna run a little bit wide, touching the gravel. There's an Alpine driving slowly in the back. It seems like that's U60. U60 actually on pole position at the moment. Didn't see that.
Oh, wow.
With a 104.1. So really, really good lap from him.
Yeah,
Quoto, of course,
especially
was
if he
on a
can get out
pretty
of it.
fast lap, but Golden getting in his way. Maybe Golden.
Blitz
Oh,
still
the
in
judge
pits. I don't think
pushing. Oh, But he doesn't invalidate. He does not invalidate. But what will he be able to do?
And on a very
Does not
fast
improve.
lap,
Dan.
crosses the line 3/10 down, putting himself in that P5. I don't think he'll be able to find another lap that'll put him further up. Blitz,
Golden moving out of the
your,
way
sprint
for
race winners still in the pits. This is definitely curious. Going out. I don't know if he's gonna definitely have to push on his out lap if he wants to set a time here, and if he invalidates, it's gonna be a rough time for him. Definitely a last to first challenge.
Here comes Golden now, starting his
I feel
lap.
like setting
Of course, Blitz
faster
and Davis
laps.
seem to be waiting for the last moment to do a lap.
as
Blitz-
Gordon actually now on the softs. This is
And
the
Golden's
first
actually going to
lap.
get a really good tow from U60 here. Up the hill now.
He is burning a lot of battery that he could.
Oh my gosh, this is sloppy.
Into the gravel, and he is
And Golden
spun
is
out of
out.
the session.
Golden is
Wow.
out. Just a miscalculation.
Yikes.
Oh
His
no.
teammate probably should have gotten out of the way a little faster. But big grips for Golden Sniper. Man that I will
That
be
was-
watching right now is Blitz, sprint race winner.
On a
into
lap as
sector
well.
1.
Davis actually now starting. Oh, he's going to invalidate before. Oh no, he doesn't invalidate. He's going to start his lap now. Here he goes now into turn 1. Davis. Blitz now also in sector 2. The session just ends, so no one else can be able to set a lap. Only the people who are on laps right now. Blitz now making his way down to turn 4. Is he going to go faster than everyone else? He didn't do a lap this entire qualifying session. Oh,
Blitz
It
running a
do-
little wide,
doesn't go-
surprisingly, he does
doesn't
not
go
in the
purple.
gravel.
but what will U60? Of course, there is 1 point for pole position. Morgan Hughes actually going to go faster than U60 by only 0.03 of a second.
Kuto, your previous pole sitter and your championship.
And here comes Blitz. Across the line,
As
going
you
to cut
will
the
be crossing
beam.
The line. P6.
And P6.
Switch up in this grid.
Don't really know what
Morgan
happened
Hughes
there for him.
currently
But
on
Davis
the
now.
provisional
Davis
pole.
going to get a purple sector too. So what can Davis do now? He's going to make his way through the final few corners. And here he comes now. A little snap out of the final corner. But he's going to cut the beam with a 105.1. And that's, I believe, is going to end our qualifying session. Pimenta, no
Yeah.
improvement. U60 going to spin across the line.
Your pole sitter, I believe, is Morgan Hughes. And then right behind them is U60. Previous pole sitter and championship leader right now, P3, Kuto. Kid sitting at P4. Dan, after what seems to be a bad qualifying session, P5. Blitz, not able to find the time, P6. Pimenta in your P7. Davis, P8. Felix, P9. Ryan, the other, Sabrin, P10. Sniper in 11 after a bad crash. And the judge sitting in your P12.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good qualifying session. I wasn't really tuned in for a lot of it, but it seems
One
a
comment made
little.
about Alpine not being able to work together. If U60 had just gotten out of the way a little bit, then maybe Golden Sniper
Yeah.
could have set a very good lap. But as we saw, he just sent it into the barriers.
But it seems a little overcasty here in Spielberg, as it's not sunny like it was in the last race.
Definitely be interesting to see if there's
I
any
wonder
weather.
if it will be wet at all. I don't think it's going to be. It doesn't seem like it. We don't have Mark, our weatherman, here.
I do recommend if we are going to get some weather, it'll be towards the end, which might mess up some people's strategies as they will have to work around that.
All right. I think we've had enough time. I think we should be good. All right. Well, here we go, guys.
Still waiting on the drivers to head out to that grid.
All right, here we go.
We see
3, 4, 5,
lights. And away
we go. So Morgan Hughes is a great start. Oh, the judge is going to spin in the background. He's actually going to be in the wall off the start. Yellow flag off the race start, but now Morgan Hughes in the lead. Going to keep it tidy now through the first few corners, but a scramble in the background as they're going to break into turn 3. It's pretty clean, it seems, up in the front now. So all the drivers make it through survive turn 3. U60 actually staying in P2. A little bit of fighting here now is Kuoto and KMYT Kid, or Kuto. Kuto actually dropping down to P4. Yellow flag behind, as it seems Felix and Ryan are in the gravel.
The judge
Gonna have to get back onto the track. Ryan working on it to get back onto the circuit. He's back on the road. Morgan still leading off 7/10 ahead of U60. U60 on the hard tires. So he's going to be in here for a while on those tires. Of course, doesn't have the grip that the other tires have. Let's see what everyone else is on. Seems that only Golden, U60, and the Judge are on the hards. Of course, that's going to make them a little bit less grip than the cars in front of them. But Morgan now running up into turn 3. U60 having KMYT Kid very close. KMYT Kid going to try and go for the move. KMYT Kid actually going to cut the corner, kind of. So they're still side by side now. Ryan going to retire from the session. On circuit, I think, he retires. So that's going to be looked at as well. You're not allowed to do that. Or is that in the pits? Was that in the pits? That was in the pits he retired, so never mind, it's okay. But U60 losing the position to KMYT Kid. As these three run away now. Yeah, it looks like a one-stop, unless there's a safety car, of course. Of course, the retirement of Ryan is going to go back out on track and then stop, because that's what happens, but it should be safe from causing a safety car. U60 very close to the back of KMYT Kid, making their way for the final few corners. But now U60 with the DRS, KMYT Kid, these three, the two Mercs and the Alpine, very, very close together here. Of course, all in the same engine manufacturer group. So maybe the three of them can all run away. Golden actually making his way up to P9. He didn't have a great qualifying, but now these hard tires could be coming to him now. Of course, no one behind him, so no losses to be made for Golden Sniper. A little bit of contact
between Dan and Blitz.
Yeah, Dan and Blitz still fighting here. It seems that Quoto is actually gaining on the cars ahead, so I believe it's about 5 laps until the tire crossover window between the hards and the mediums, or sorry, 6 laps between the hards and the mediums. So we'll have to see.
A little bit of update on the weather. It's not like to be any rain. Actually,
a little bit of contact. Dan and Blitz making a lot of contact now.
They make their way through.
Rubbing is racing, fellas. Rubbing is racing.
And give the position.
It seems that that Dan does concede the position to Blitz, but these two still fighting very closely. Blitz actually outside of DRS now of Kuto. Kuto actually now on the side of U60. So U60 is going to back out of that. U60 is going to back out of that, but with the switch now, U60 is going to have the DRS, but not going to have the run on Kuto. But Kuto now running out of space, running out of speed. So U60 should be able to just get this move done now as they make their way into turn 3. As Kuto now going to have the DRS on U60. U60 going to opt for that inside line as Kuto side by side now. U60 gonna force him a
Kuto
little bit
spun
outside.
A little bit, it looks
But Kuto
like,
now actually
that's
losing the
a lot of
position to
Kuto.
U60, but Kuto going to try and stick his nose now up the inside. So these guys are still going to fight side by side. And
Definitely
U60
can,
very close.
As the team principal of Alpine, I can definitely tell that you're very worried about this.
Yeah, it's very stressful as Blitz now is caught up as the two Mercs now run away. What are we doing? What? You just let the Mercs run away. Anyway, U60 now still in the back of Kuto, but now Blitz is in the picture and so is Dan. These two drivers, of course, were in the top 4, but U60 is still very close to the back of Kuto. Let's see what he can do. KMYT, these guys are just going to swap up at the front. They should at least, unless they might fight. I'm not really sure. U60 now actually gets ahead of Kuto, and it actually seems like U60 is making up a little bit of time, as Kuto is still very close to the back of U60. Is he going to try and have a look into turn 4? I believe those mediums are going to be losing a little bit of pace here now. So U60 doesn't have to do much defending now into the second sector. But this is where the medium tires shine. Blitz also losing a bit of time to Kuto as the two Mercedes just kind of run away at the front. But the hard tires should be coming to life here soon compared to the hards. I say that as U60 has a slide. Kuto on the medium tire. Let's see, gonna throw the car through there. U60 getting a little bit wide. U60 getting a 3-second penalty, and probably another warning as well at the end there. Unfortunate for the Alpine driver. Kuto having a great run now up into turn 1, but not gonna opt not to go for a move because that's a little bit of a risky corner to go for an overtake. But now we have Kuto gonna go for a move. U60 recharging on the straight. Kuto going for a move around the outside. And Blitz actually going to get spun. But Blitz seemed to kind of turn in there on U60. I don't really know what happened there.
I think there was a little bit of damage that I saw.
Blitz
Blitz
has no damage. Kuto has no damage. U60 has no damage. Dan also getting past Blitz. I wonder what happened there. Maybe some tire damage possibly, but I didn't really see what happened there. So now we have U60 still in the back of Kuto. Dan now gonna struggle to keep up with the hard tire now, as the hard tire might be coming to life compared to the medium tire. Oh, U60 gonna have a little snap as there they are, but they're not running away by a lot though. They should be a lot further ahead, only 2 seconds clear of Kuto, of course, on that medium tire, which will eventually fall away. So U60 will eventually start gaining. I believe they're going to go for a swap of positions here with U60 and Kuto. So U60 going to go down the racing line. I feel like Kuto won't defend that position too hard, as they know they kind of have to do some teamwork here in this race in order to catch the two leaders at the moment. And U60 with that penalty doesn't have much to lose here, but U60 going to go a little bit defensive. Of course, on that hard tire, going to go a little bit deep now. So I think Kuto's now alongside. Who will back out of this move? Are they still going to go side by side now? No, they are not. So U60 now.
As we are losing viewers to
have?
some other famous person who's streaming right now.
Yeah, Davis is here as well now. Davis still sticking close to the back of Pimenta. Only 9/10 separate the two drivers. Dan also still very close to the back of Blitz. Dan really throwing that car through every corner. But Golden Sniper down in P9 does not have the start to this race that he wanted. I think having a little bit of conflict at the beginning of the race. But Davis now pushing forward, trying to just catch Pimenta. Going to get the DRS. What will the Red Bull driver be able to do? Kuto now getting past U60. But Kuto going a little bit deep now into turn 3. And U60 struggling for the traction. And Blitz, yeah, seems like these guys are just going to kind of swap. There's no time being gained on the cars ahead, as Kuto seems to be running away a little bit. But the two drivers in front are fighting. KMYT Kid and Morgan Hughes are fighting at the front, it seems. A little bit, another swap of positions.
Has 5/10. They lost 5/10 on that little straight.
A little bit more than that. They've lost closer to a second almost, actually, to Kuto. So suddenly, Kuto U60 not so much Blitz, but Kuto and U60 are back in this top 2 battle. So this is the new top 4 here. As Kuto actually going to get DRS now. Venta going to get a 3-second penalty. So U60 still has his 3-second penalty, of course. He's not going to want that at all, but with the hard tire, might be able to do something with it. Felix and the judge trundling in the background. The judge knows that P11 still gets points here. So, of course, points go down to P12. So, still something in it for the McLaren driver and for the Williams driver. Of course, Williams having a really good start to Tier 2 with Impulse being in the driver's seat. But now that he's not there, U60, or not U60, the judge filling in for his place. Speedy Impulse actually...
Dan getting a good look on Blitz as they're very close. Blitz
or U60 having a big snap there. Massive moment for him in the middle sector. It seems like these hard tires are really falling away from him in these conditions. I'm not sure if it's... You said it's not calling for rain?
It is not. It just looks like overcast and then maybe some light clouds.
U60 seem to be really struggling on these hard tires.
Very wide. Maybe he's still trying to push hard on Blitz when he's in that position.
KNYT Kid still leads Morgan, but Kuto and U60 are still all there. So now there's gonna be a scrap now, as Kuto gonna get boxed in by KNYT Kid under braking. It seems that the Mercedes are working together. U60 gonna get a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits again. So that's 6 seconds now looms over his head. It's Blitz closing the gap now. It was 3 seconds, now 2.2. Of course, that was the biggest concern around Austria, and U60 still really struggling on those hard tires. Actually losing DRS now to Kuto, but going to jump back to the front of the pack as the two Mercs and the Red Bull fight it out at the front. Let's see what Kuto can do now, as it seems that Morgan is going to pull the trigger and actually come into the pits very early. On lap 10, he's going to come off the...
a little bit of undercut.
Yeah, but he's going to come off on lap 10 on the mediums. I'm not really sure why. He's going to put on the hard tire. So he's going to leave the pits now. We have KNYT Kid still leading Kuto, but U60's now back with DRS as well. Blitz still very far behind, but Kuto going to go for a move around the outside, going to try and brake a little early, but now has the traction. U60 now also back in this fight.
Right there.
But Kuto,
and
KNYT Kid moving a little bit on the straight, but they're still side by side now. So Kuto's going to outbrake him, but KNYT Kid is the switchback now, as KNYT Kid still around the outside of Kuto. They're going to go side by side through this corner. Very, very close. They're going to make contact, actually, through the corners as Kuto really forces himself through. Says, I don't care, get out of my way, I want this position, and takes the position now up into P1 for Kuto. He did not want KNYT Kid to have that position. So now the three, as now U60's back in this podium fight. He's waiting to get that clean air so he can run away from the drivers behind. Just waiting patiently. But let's see what he can do now, as it seems that U60 closer than he's ever been before in the last few laps. Is he going to go for something here? KNYT Kid going to try and go for a look. U60 also going to go for a move. U60
right
going around the inside. They make a little bit of contact.
He maybe get that position on Kuto, but I think he ultimately has to give it up.
No, I don't think he does, man. He's still side by side. They're still side by side now. Down to turn 4. U60 going to break a little bit later. A little bit of contact. Kuto getting very pushy. Yellow flags behind as Felix has a little moment.
Better, pull away, and Kuto.
It seems like those medium tires now really falling off for... Oh, as U60 teleports off the screen. He's teleporting everywhere. It seems he's a little bit laggy here today. As here comes... Gonna go a little bit wide again. I don't know what happens there. Or happened there. Not happens there. But... Now U60 going to try and take the lead of this Grand Prix. Still very close behind KNYT Kid. Maybe he's finally found his rhythm. Kuto going to go a little bit wide, losing a little bit of time to U60. Of course, with the DRS, it does not really matter that much, as he's still going to be close to KNYT Kid. But U60 going to try and go for a move now into turn 3. KMYT going to squeeze him to the outside. Very, very close battles
Dan
between
and
these
Blitz
two up
may
front.
be able to,
U60 going to get the
keep
DRS, a
working
double
their way
DRS on KMYT Kid now. They're still side by side. KMYT Kid going to force him to the inside a little bit. U60 going to try and outbrake him. They're still side by
Kuto
side
having a little
down
bit
to
of that
turn
snap.
4. And now still very close between the two of them. As these three still fight it out at the front. And
I think we'll definitely see the
U60
medium runners.
getting very close to the back of KMYT Kid through the middle sector. It seems that KMYT Kid is just slowing up U60. That medium tire is so much slower than the hard now in the later stage of this race. Is U60 going to have a beautiful run now down the start-stop straight, and he's actually going to probably be able to drop KMYT Kid now. But was that a bad thing? Is now Golden Sniper's going to get a 3-second time penalty. Dan comes into the pits, fits on a set of probably hard tires. Yes, it is. So U60 still leading this race as he's going to let both drivers through now, but actually going to outbrake both of them now into turn 3. And KMYT Kid really trying to close the door on U60, going to burn everything that he has in his ERS tank. U60 has no battery left. But KMYT Kid going to leave the door open.
Almost 3
as
wide.
Kuto-
Contact between the Merc and that Red Bull, and maybe a little bit of that.
And Kuto going, setting a outrageous dive bomb into that corner. These two are going to fight now. These two, of course,
More
have seen
contact made. I
U60
think,
going to have a little half snap. Kuto going to lose the car completely, dropping down to P3. Now as U60, oh my gosh, this is a crazy fight. U60 now, still very close, but now Blitz is now back.
For the first time.
Blitz is now caught back up at the sun. Oh, and he's going to pit. So he actually will get DRS on when he leaves the pit lane, I believe. No, not next straight. But we have U60 fighting for the lead here. Going to get forced really wide by KMYT Kid. KMYT Kid forced to take the runoff. He should have to, and U60 gets no DRS because they tied across the line. So KMYT Kid weaving a lot in the straight as he's going to move a little bit under braking. Going to go really deep.
There's a contact between all 3 of the cars.
So it seems that KMYT Kid really getting his elbows out. KMYT Kid really getting his elbows out.
Fun with this.
Yeah, really getting his elbows out. Does not want to give any of these positions back. Or does not want to give any of these positions up. Of course, very dangerous driving from the Red Bull and the Merc. It seems that these guys really do want to fight at the front here. Oh, U60 having another snap, though. But KMYT Kid been getting very aggressive over the last few laps. As U60, as they're going to pit, actually. So now U60 going to get DRS now and have a little chance to run away, stretch his legs. As Golden Sniper also probably going to gain a few positions here. Morgan Hughes, the undercut from Morgan Hughes actually works.
Yes,
And it actually worked really well. So, worked really, really well.
Yeah,
as he's
this
actually going to
first
gain
80's just
a solid.
running.
He's going to gain a solid how many seconds? And also Dan getting an undercut as well. Actually coming out, I don't even know, that's a lot of time. But U60 now gets a chance to stretch his legs.
About
And,
5 seconds from Dan and Blitz.
I would
Dan
say...
and Blitz actually in front of Kint Kid and Kuto, who were our front leaders. So this
So yeah,
undercut
the,
seems to work. I think right now with people who have...
but KMYT could already pass Blitz. KMYT could already pass Blitz, but now KMYT could has a 2-second gap to close to Dan. If he ends up fighting Blitz, this could get
finding
sticky.
a lot of time on Davis as Davis runs wide and Dan gets that position. I think Dan is technically P2 once you and Golden Sniper go into the pits. Blitz with that little pack of 4.
Pimenta, 3-second penalty. It seems the sun has finally come out here in Austria. It's no longer overcast. Sun is shining a little
Blitz
bit.
getting the overtake on Kint Kid. going too wide with him as Kuto looks for something. His teammate Davis.
I'm gonna hop back now. Oh my gosh, KMYT Kid.
More
Blitz.
contact between Kint Kid and
actually gonna go for another move. Gonna get both in one corner. As he gets Davis. He's actually gonna move out of the way for those two. Davis knows that they are not in his fight. Davis on a 16-lap old medium tires. Needs to pit soon. I wonder if it's gonna be this lap. Really struggling for tire grip. Probably gonna end up pitting this lap, I would say. It's Kuto now on the back of Blitz. But let's see.
Dan getting the overtake on Golden Sniper. Golden Sniper has not pit yet, so this is big for Dan as there's an 8-second gap between him and Morgan Hughes. Morgan Hughes, the first person to pit in that little pack.
Yeah, and Golden now also on the back of Dan. So I wonder what's going to happen here between the Australian and the British driver. The man from down under and the Dan from down under. Doesn't make sense, but whatever. Of course, we've had a real life driver in an Alpine from Australia, but he's not there anymore. As lots of, oh my God, they're going 3 wide through there, and Kuto gonna get pinched out.
Good pull away.
Gonna get pinched out, but they're still side by side. KMYT Kid still side by side. Make contact. Make contact again.
More contact.
Oh, they're gonna go side by side now. Blitz.
Very frustrating for them.
Blitz now, still up the inside, more contact down to turn 9, down to turn 10. Kuto, still very close behind. Morgan Hughes now gaining steadily on U60 in the lead.
Maybe looking for
as KMYT Kid gonna get a 3-second time penalty. So it's only Blitz.
It
is only Blitz.
One without in that little pack without a penalty.
Oh, and Blitz gonna go for a move now. So, he's going to have a massive slide.
Oh, but he has to do something there to...
Has a massive slide, I think a lockup. As Golden now is in this fight as well.
Now. I think he's going to have to struggle to find himself back in that pack.
As Golden really struggling on those hard tires. I wonder if KMYT Kid going to go for something here.
I do reckon that the hards runners will be into the pits anytime now. Which will see our front runner U60 U60 into the pits just like I had called.
Okay, so Golden isn't going to pit then.
Well, that's what the hope is. He's still good.
Blitz now. Gonna get the DRS from hopefully now. Where is U60 gonna come out? U60 actually leaving the pits now. Gonna come out just in this pack of cars. So he is actually gonna be just with Blitz and all of them, but on the better compound tire. 16 laps to go in this race. 16 laps on that medium tire. Let's go to tire details. He has a 4-lap overcut on the hard runners, so that should be enough to actually gain a lot. Golden Sniper yet to pit. I wonder if he's here to help out his teammate, maybe. Hopefully. But, of course, running in P6, P7, not a horrible result for the Alpine team. Can't really complain from my point of view, but you can see the pace that U60 is gaining on Golden now. Golden probably going to dive into the pits. He takes the inside line. Dan, 3-second penalty. I'm not really sure. Ooh, U60 having a massive snap. Dan having 3 seconds.
I can hear the
stress in my voice. I think Golden has pit. Golden is going to pit. So Golden is in the pits now. As Kuto passes KMYT Kid. KMYT Kid actually without DRS. Gonna be in a bit of a tough situation here. Is he gonna have a dive now into turn 3? No, he's not. But he does have Blitz very close behind, and also U60 now. No DRS, of course, but through this middle sector, U60 gonna be a lot faster than everyone ahead of him. 6-second penalty. The closest car behind is Pimenta. So at the moment, U60 should be pretty safe in that P6 position. Let's see what he can do now, as he's going to try and gain on the cars that he was fighting previously. Blitz, of course, the winner at the moment. Actually, no, Morgan Hughes the winner at the moment with the 8-second gap over Dan. Kuto,
I
KMYT
do
Kid, and
reckon that
Blitz.
those tires will start to die. Maybe in 10 laps for Morgan Hughes.
How old are his tires? 11 laps. So
they're
yeah, his
gonna be-
tires are gonna die in 5 or 6 laps. They're gonna start feeling pretty sore now. As U60 still just outside of DRS range, gonna be painful for him, as he's not gonna be able to get anything and actually lose time even with the fresher rubber on the cars ahead. But still very, very close. He's really gonna hope that these guys ahead of him start fighting, start scrapping, and see what he can pull out of his butt now. 6 seconds of penalties. What can he do? He is actually almost within DRS. Any fights near the back? No fights near the back. We're only focused on this fight. Kuto now in the back of KMYT Kid. Blitz still the winner out of this pack because everyone else ahead of him has penalties. I think he might even pass Dan at this rate if Dan has a 3-second penalty.
To see that they are actually catching up to Dan, even though they have been fighting nonstop just about every
Level they have had DRS, see, but Dan actually unable to catch Morgan in the front, so or able to keep that gap steady to Morgan in the front. In the corners he's gaining a bit though. Morgan gonna have a massive drop off of pace near the end of the race. U60 almost there. He's almost caught them with DRS, just not yet. They are going to swap positions. KMYT are going to slow him up a little bit. He's going to run a little bit wide, actually cut the corner slightly. U60, no DRS still, as they make their way up into turn 3. They're going to go side by side now into turn 3, keeping it pretty clean, keeping it nice and tidy through there. KMYT could now into P3. Dan vulnerable at this point as only 2 lap fresher tires, but they're pretty close behind him now. 1.3 seconds is the gap. Dan really quick in the sprint, can't seem to find his race pace on the race fuel, but maybe he can still fight for a good result here as U60 is now within DRS range, those cars in front of him, and with the fresher rubber. Let's see, will he be able to push on and possibly overtake them now in this race?
Almost within DRS of Dan now. This will change the whole tide as he does get within DRS of Dan. I think Dan will have to be roped up in this battle that they're having.
So Dan Dan running really low on battery, it seems. So
60 within points now. So this big battle is all for 2nd through 6th place.
Yeah, U60 of course has the most penalties out of anyone else. So and Morgan, now because of this big fight, Morgan's going to probably be the big winner here. So U60 is going to get very close to the back of Blitz. Golden comes out P9, very close to the back of Davis, actually. 1.2 seconds between them. Felix 13 seconds behind that. But we're going to jump back up now as these 4 in the front are still squabbling mercilessly. KMYT Kid leads the pack, but at the moment, or as it stands, Blitz actually net P2 because of the penalties. Dan actually falling down to P4 from P2 as he's struggling now on those hard tires. Everyone else on the fresher rubber. Actually, Blitz going to go for a move now into turn 9. They're actually side by side now. Dan going to give the position as U60 now. Going to try and go for a move there, but doesn't work. I don't know, a little bit ambitious there from U60. Trying to go for overtake in turn 10. But Kuto now takes the lead from KMYT Kid. But KMYT Kid probably going to be able to get it back. I think Blitz knows that he just needs to sit in this pack, let everyone fight, and he wins out. He's the winner in this situation. He gets a free P2 on a silver platter. As long as he doesn't as long as he stays within 3 seconds of everyone that's around him. Everyone has penalties. Not the way he would like to get a podium, but it's going to have to be the way. If he wants to get the points, you got to play the game correctly. U60 actually still very close to the back of Dan. And these 3 all still fighting at the front. Golden now on the back of Davis. Golden, I think, has a 6-second time penalty. Yes, he does. So he's not going to like that very much. Golden actually going to try and have a look for a move down to turn 4, but doesn't. Let's jump back up to this crazy train here. Now, Kuto leads this train. Of course, Morgan's still in the lead, but Morgan losing a lot of time, it seems. Now only 9.3. He was 10 seconds up. So maybe, is his tires finally getting to him? Is he finally losing the grip? Is he finally struggling on those hard tires? still 10 laps to go. He's going to be on 25 lap old hard tires by the end of this. KMYT Kid going for a move now as they're all fighting like madmen in the back. U60 now on the outside of Dan. Or actually, no, they're still side by side. They're still side by side now going down to turn 4. U60 going to outbrake Dan. Very, very late on the brakes. Going to get the position from him. Now U60 can hopefully...
He is not higher up with these fresher mediums on the faster compound. I would have expected him to make his way up very quickly, but he's not.
Yeah, so now U60 gonna need to, well, I mean, Arnold's running pretty quick. U60 now needs to get some positions here. Needs to start making his way up. Of course, those hard tires are still gonna be or really realistically worse than the medium. Of course, just kind of need to keep your nose clean in this situation. Let everyone else fight ahead of you. Fighting like crazy at the front. Kuto still in the lead of this Grand Prix as now Blitz going to have a look for a move on KMYT Kid. KMYT Kid, of course, known to get his elbows. They're going to make a lot of contact. A lot of contact still. As Blitz is going to ghost and U60 going to be the winner in that situation, moving up to P4. Blitz... getting caught up in that was kind of unlucky from him as KMYT Kid squeezes him off the circuit, really getting his elbows out here. KMYT Kid really does not want to lose this race. Maybe a little bit too aggressively, but even though we know rubbing is racing, they're going to make their way now into the Sector 3, U60, following very closely to KMYT Kid and Kuto. But what will he be able to do? U60 going very wide, getting another 3-second time penalty.
Yeah,
as he's not going to like that one.
Sniper swapping positions quite a bit in this back.
Yeah, let's check these guys out.
2 points.
So now, yeah, well, Golden with the penalty.
Away with the fresher tires, but if
but
Davis can just stay within, he gets those points.
Yeah,
Kenka
so
gets an overtake on Kuto.
Well, actually, no. This is for 3 and 4 points, I think.
As people are not happy that you're watching the back markers.
In chat, people aren't happy.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna hop back up to the front now. Oh, as actually, hello, Kazu. As
my camera work.
What?
Okay.
I'm working on it, man. I'm trying to hop between. Like, listen, there's more people in this race than just the front runners, okay?
Blitz looking very fast. Maybe might see an overtake on U60 from him.
So this pack of 5 still very close in the front. Actually, now starting to chip out the gap from Morgan. But U60 still very close behind this pack. Blitz, Dan, everyone, they're all within about 1.5 seconds of each other, doing the math in my head. KMYT Kid now going to go for a move around the outside of Kuto. Very, very close. They might actually tie for DRS, but no, KMYT Kid going to get the DRS. Now he's going to try and have a second look now into turn 4. Going to go for a late braking move. Here he goes around down the inside. Gonna force him really wide, and gets the position made. But it seems he did not leave Kuto very much space. These two fighting like madmen. They want to lead this train. They want to be in the lead, even though it could all be for moot. As Blitz, of course, with no penalties, is the winner in this situation here. I mean, Morgan Hughes is the winner in this situation as he's 8.4 seconds ahead of everyone else. But Dan still sticking close behind in P6. Of course, U60, P5. Great result for him. Should have been on for a podium in Monaco, but making a mistake later in the race. Losing out on all of his points, actually finishing in last. So U60 having a massive slide now. Dan may have a better run here, but we're going to move back up to these 3 lovely people. The Merc, the Red Bull, the V-Carb. KMYT going to force Kuto to the inside. A lot of contact there, actually, between the 3 cars as Blitz, I don't think has any damage to his car. But KMYT Kid, of course, forcing Kuto to the inside makes that move hard. And kind of unnecessarily risky on his part. So Let's see now. We'll look backwards from Kuto. Let's see, is he able to pull the gap any? No, he's actually losing, leaking a little bit of time to the cars behind. KMIT Kid gaining and gaining and gaining on the back.
This pack being the difference between 18 points and 8 points. So
Oh,
definitely
wow.
going to be some big winners and some big losers here. Someone in the pits.
So the judge going to come into the pits, going to try and go for fastest lap, 5 laps to go. KMYT Kid getting an amazing run out of turn 1. Going to get past Kuto before he even gets a chance to think about defending it. But now Blitz is there as well. Not going to go for a move, but what will Kuto do here now? Going down to turn 4. Blitz starting to fall off a little bit. U60 actually losing this train of cars as Dan still very close behind. Kuto gonna go down the inside of KMYT Kid.
Blitz
Kuto gonna
maybe
do the
spin a little
same
bit,
thing that
struggling
Blitz
for
or
grip.
Kuto gonna do the same thing
As
that
U60 gets the
KMYT
overtake
Kid
on
did to
Dan.
him,
I think
forcing him a
We're
little bit
still a little
wide.
too wide though.
KMYT Kid gonna try and catch this the Red Bull, but just isn't able to do it. As U60 and Dan actually switch positions in the back, but now actually they're gaining
they have
on Morgan.
Lost a
So
lot of
gaining
time
a lot of
on
time on
things
Morgan.
like that.
They're gaining a lot of time on Morgan here. The gap is now down
Morgan's tire is
to
definitely showing now.
yeah. Well, with 4 laps to go, Morgan must be struggling on those hard tires. But looking backwards from Kuto onto KMY Ticket. KMY Ticket gonna go for a move here. Gonna stick a nose there. They are gonna make a little bit of contact. KMIT Kid is still gonna have the DRS, but it's gonna be a drag race now, and KMIT Kid has the advantage. They're very, very close, making contact now. KMIT Kid actually turning into Kuto a little bit, but Kuto gonna go for the switchback. Losing traction though, unable to get the position. But Dan and U60 still fighting away in the back here. Gonna come back up at the front. Sorry to interrupt the battle there, but KMIT Kid now leads. Blitz, of course, knowing he just needs to sit there. He just needs to wait for the end of the race, and he gets a free podium here. But KMIT Kid and Kuto, that's where it matters. Whoever finishes ahead of the other is whoever gets on the 3rd step of that podium in this race. But now, here comes Kuto. U60 going to get another 3-second time penalty. As Blitz, of course, not wanting to fight anything. He's just going to sit there. Just hang out. Have a good time. Kid, though, now has a great run on Kuto. Kuto not going to give him the space. Kuto, they're going to make a lot of contact down into turn 3. So I'm not really sure what happened there. Kuto going to cut the corner now with a 3-second time penalty. He's going to lock wheels. And losing a lot of time. They're getting really scrappy as Kuto's actually going to run him off the circuit. KMYT now in the wall. As Kuto really pushed him there. That was unsportsmanlike from Kuto. But now Blitz, the big winner out of all that, takes P2. And hopefully now he can actually do something instead of squabbling with the other two for the whole race. But Kuto actually cut the corner to get up alongside KMYT Kid there. So not the best look from the Red Bull driver. Getting really aggressive. Getting kind of fed up with KMYT Kid. Of course, KMYT Kid also having a massive slide now. I wonder, does that Mercedes have any damage? Of course, the judge getting a 3-second time penalty. But it doesn't look like there's any damage on that Merc. But KMYT Kid now does not have DRS on the drivers in front of him. So he's kind of stuck in no man's land. And Dan...
Birds are going to have a fun experience with this.
Yeah, me.
All of this figured out.
But now Kuto and Blitz are going to be fighting here as well. But now KMIT Kid actually does not get DRS. But Blitz and the 2 Red Bull drivers might be working heel and toe here, trying to pull away from the dangerous. Well, not really dangerous, but the it seems to be the aggressing factor here, which is KMIT Kid. Golden actually losing a position to Felix, as Golden's going to pit, try and go for fastest lap. I guess he sees that he has nothing left to lose.
Dan might be getting that P4 off of Kuto because of the 6 seconds in penalties.
Let's look now. And KMIT Kid. So Dan actually...
penalty. Dan might be given a podium here. If he could just
Yeah, Dan
maybe
in
push it a
position
little
to.
bit
If Dan pushes a little bit harder, he can be on for a P3 here in Austria. Probably his favorite track. Can do what he was unable to do in the sprint race. Of course, Kuto still very close behind. Dan just needs to hold on to 3 seconds. Dan needs 3 seconds. Needs to be 3 seconds behind them because Dan has a 3-second penalty. So Kuto now getting past Blitz, but the gap
Still
to Hughes
fighting
closing
very
down.
heavily.
But Dan needs to get within that 3-second window. Now it's 4 seconds between the two. I don't think Dan's going to be able to get the podium here today.
Very unfortunate.
Very
for him, 'cause I
unfortunate,
know
yeah.
that He was looking for some good points.
But P5, he won't be set up at a P5. I'm sure he will not be. Unless he can maybe close
Even
a
Dan
little bit.
getting
Dan,
a penalty, that is just
and now Dan
all
rubbing
hopes and
salt
dreams
on the
of that
wound.
is going
Commentator
down
curse. But as it stands, Kuto P3. Last lap. Heading on the final lap now. Everything is to play for now. KMYT Kid needs to do everything he can to try and get Kuto here. Pimenta getting a 3-second time penalty. As here we go now. It's the last lap. Blitz going to get past Kuto. But what is KMYT Kid? He's going to go for a very late move down the inside of Kuto. Actually get the DRS again. Kind of a dangerous dive bomb on the part of KMYT Kid. But Kuto also getting the DRS.
Maybe it's a little personal from when...
Could be a little bit personal, but
pushed him
Kuto
to the
now
wall, but
going to try and go around the outside. Going to go down the inside now. These guys are side by side now through the middle sector. Kuto still there, though. Getting past him, actually. And they're still very close. Everything is to fight for on the grass. KMYT Kid trying to get past Kuto.
I don't think
Not
he's
going to be able to do it.
I
Golden
don't think
Sniper
he
is
has
setting the
pace.
fastest lap of the Grand Prix with a 106.1. Great stuff from him. But KMYT Kid now, it's going to go up the line. Morgan Hughes wins
Hughes with
in
that
Austria.
undercut, getting P1.
And
Blitz P2,
Kuto,
Kuto
P3.
P3.
KMYT Kid coming home in
that
P4.
Human Dan getting that P5. I think U60 and that P6.
Pimenta. Wait. Davis might be able to if Davis can close 5/10. Yellow flag. Pimenta. Pimenta's off. Pimenta's off. Pimenta is gonna lose the position, I think, to Davis. I
It's
think.
definitely going to be a close one.
Or
Yeah,
he is.
He has it. I think he has
Davis
it. Yes,
gonna get the
David gets
P7.
P7.
Felix now comes to the final few corners
I
as
think
well.
Felix and then Golden Sniper will post this off. Your
P9 and P10.
Sniper.
Golden also getting fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So an extra point for that for him.
Point.
Oh, and a 3-second time penalty to just icing on the
Why
cake.
not?
What a race!
That
So much action, so much drama.
definitely one to remember, one to put into the.
We're
history.
already getting Thomas Ronhars in the Tier 2 paddock chat, for that performance. So, I guess what a race as Morgan takes the win. We have Blitz in P2 and Kuto in P3. We'll go to the race results now. So, yeah, what a race! What a great session that was. That was certainly
definitely a fun
a
one.
lot of action here in this Grand Prix. Our big winners: Morgan Hughes, who takes a second place in the sprint race and a first place in the race. Blitz getting a first place in the sprint race and a second place in the actual race. And yeah, what a race! That was certainly something.
Good job, Dan.
Yeah. Let's.
Fucking finally.
You did good, man. You drove 15 points in the weekend, actually some more. But anyway, guys, that's gonna be everything for the Tier 2 race. Thank you all for joining, whoever was watching, and hope you all have a great evening and enjoy the rest of your day. And
See you on to the next one.
yeah, see you next week.